What is a holiday that you hate, that most other people enjoy? Why? Anyone that involves forced consumerism, but if I had to pick, Valentine's Day. I shouldn't have to feel the necessity to quantify my love and affection via gifts and shit. Brilliant money maker for the candy and useless shit businesses. Luckily I don't have that experience in my own relationship, but I know people who do, and it's too much. New Year's Eve. That's the one day where you're supposed to go out with friends and party. I'm usually always by myself on this day. Makes me realize that I don't have a single friend. Usually I'm fine with that fact, but not on New Year's Eve. Edit. Thank you everyone for reaching out. I've never had so many people want to be my friend before lol. While I really do appreciate it, I'm having major issues with social anxiety. Making a phone call to someone will take me hours or perhaps even days of mental preparation before I will dare to make that call. If I'm to call someone on Skype / Discord / whatever, it'd have to be someone I knew from real life and wanted to make a real connection to IRL. Sorry if that sounds selfish, but that's how I feel. I know a lot of people might have the mentality that I brought my loneliness on myself then, and I absolutely know that. Every friendship I've had in the past have always been my own fault that they ended. I simply can't keep a friendship. I hate Christmas. When it comes down to it, this holiday that used to mean so much in the past about family and togetherness is now basically a glorified cash grab for corporations. I used to love the holiday, but now when you take a big step back and really see what it's become, I can't really agree with it anymore. The sales are nice, but at what moral cost? Thanksgiving. Absolutely despise it. Small talk, fake smiles, it at least smiles fueled by nervousness, and just being around loud, obnoxious family members that want to talk about politics. Complete turn off to the holiday. I would be so happy if I had a job so I can work all day and evening on Thanksgiving. Christmas. My brother and I were forced to go to my dad's at Christmas to watch him and his new wife and kids open their huge piles of gifts and pretty much act like we weren't around. My dad hated my mom so much that his hatred spilled over onto us, and it especially showed during Christmas. Christmas music is also like nails on a chalkboard to me. It's not exactly a holiday, but is treated as one. Black Friday. Nothing says American quite like cutting short a holiday meant to be thankful so that you can stand in the cold at 04304 15% off of a toaster oven. Screw the corporations that start their Black Friday festivities on Thanksgiving Day itself so that you can choose between being with your loved ones and fighting rabid crowds in Target. No one is going to like this, but I hate Mother's and Father's Day. I think the sentiment of appreciating your parents is very nice, but the reality of it is awkward and insincere. I feel like it's mostly just people patting themselves on the back for reproducing. Thanksgiving and Christmas. Thanksgiving because everyone comes into one house and you're trapped there for the whole day with family, and then you have to eat some dry ass turkey that turns into leftovers for the next 5 weeks because everyone cooks enough to feed an army. Christmas because of the gifts. It's so forced and unnecessary. You're expected to give all these things to people you've hardly spoken to all year, and then you receive junk that ends up in a drawer never to be used. Thanksgiving. This wasn't even from overeating or alcohol use, but I've literally never felt worse in my life than the day after Thanksgiving. Instead, you have one of my relatives who decided it was a delightful idea to host it in their house while they had the stomach flu to thank. On top of that, I only have one person I'm actually interested in talking to there, and that's my cousin. I'm not coming again. Christmas. I hate the music. I hate the shopping rushes. I hate how everyone expects everyone to spend money they don't have. I do like the time off work to spend time with family though. Don't get me wrong, I like the break and I like the things that we do on Christmas Day. I'm planning a road trip all the way up the country instead of flying, which I'm looking forward to. I just hate everything else. Honestly, Christmas. I'm a broke ass full-time college student, and it's always a hassle to get people gifts. Also, I'm not an incredibly material person, and I have depression, so it's basically the season of faking enthusiasm. I love you guys and appreciate your gifts though. I just am a natural stick in the mud. I don't enjoy winter holidays anymore. In 2015, my husband had a depressive episode and I nearly lost him. In 2017, my grandpa and cat passed away just a few months apart. In 2018, my cousin passed away. In 2019, we are losing our home on the anniversary of the loss of my cat and my cousin's funeral. All of those things happened in December, except the loss of my grandpa. I feel his absence most in the winter holidays because we always went to his house for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now grandma's remarried and Thanksgiving is cancelled while my dad recovers from emergency surgery. In conclusion, winter sucks. December sucks especially. Halloween. I used to love it. I worked at a haunted corn maze and got to chase people with a chainsaw, went to all kinds of parties, trick-or-treated, until I was 14. It was great. Hosted all kinds of bonfires and celebrations. Hell, we had literal feasts. Now, can't find anyone who wants to do anything. Always have to work. People are either spending time with their kids or being homebodies watching Netflix. I always wanted to have that house, the one that gave out full bars of candy and had drinks and whatnot that you had to make it through their terrifying set to get. That place where you had to be brave as a kid to approach. Hard to do when you're renting a shitty apartment. Maybe one day Halloween will be fun again, but I look at it with dread every year now. Christmas. It's no longer about spending time with family, it's now about how much shit you can buy. People literally go out and get into fights over something so little as a video game because just being there for your family isn't enough anymore. And corporations are in on it too. If you're lucky, you won't hear Christmas music or see Christmas decor until after Halloween, but most of the time you see and hear that stuff for 2.5 months. And it's literally only Christmas that gets treated that way. You don't see Halloween decorations in store in August. You don't see 4th of July stuff out in May. Not even to mention people just become the worst around this time. They start yelling and throwing fits at the most ridiculous things. I'm sorry we ran out of this one thing, but hundreds of other people also wanted it, and you got here late. This isn't our fault in the slightest. And they will be the first to say, I can't believe you have to work on Christmas Eve. You should be with your family. Like, really, Susan? Well then, if you believe that so much, then why did you wait until Christmas Eve to buy $300 in food to cook tomorrow? I hate Christmas. Nye is just the worst. Everywhere is overpriced. X for the bar are 5 people deep. Taxes go up 5x and people are obnoxious. Or you stay home, it's too quiet, food is okay, and you're watching fireworks on your TV for what feels like an eternity. Wanna go away for the night? Prepare to pay 3x the price, and places normally do it a night minimum charge as well. On a personal level as well, I always work either night. My job is in the prison service, so I'm tired, cranky, and get home well into the late evening, or New York day, so don't want to up to late drinking, or work is even worse. Everyone has these high standard and ideals of the perfect night when it never happens. Christmas. It has become so commercialized that it has lost its joy. It gets shoved into people's faces in the stores before Halloween has even happened. Also, I'm not a pagan who wants to celebrate the winter solstice or a Christian who wants to celebrate the birth of Christ. I hate Christmas. The worst thing that ever happened to me was on Christmas. It was Christmas Eve. I was 9 years old. Me and mom were decorating the tree waiting for dad to come home from work. Couple hours went by, dad wasn't home. So mom called the office. No answer. Christmas Day came and went and still nothing. So the police began a search. 4 or 5 days went by. Neither one of us could eat or sleep. Everything was falling apart. It was snowing outside. The house was freezing, so I went to try to light up the fire. And that's when I noticed the smell. Firemen came and broke through the chimney top, and me and mom were expecting them to pull out a dead cat or a bird, and instead they pulled out my father. He was dressed in a Santa Claus suit. He'd been climbing down the chimney on Christmas Eve, his arms loaded with presents. He was gonna surprise us. He slipped and broke his neck, died instantly. And that's how I found out there was no Santa Claus. You see, Valentine's is torture, and my birthday is a mess. New Year's is a lot of noise, and Arbor Day's a pest. Halloween's a horror, but I guess I must confess that I really don't hate Christmas. UC Flag Day is infernal. April Fool's is just a bore. Mardi Gras is a waste, unless you own a candy store. All these other holidays I can admit that I abhor. But I really don't hate Christmas. Dr. Doof. A lot of people love their birthday. I completely hate mine. I spent my 8th birthday watching Steel Magnolias with my mom, while writing down her contraction times. Her water broke. She ordered a pizza, told me to go find a neighbor to stay with, then shit my brother out her front, but the same day. My mom's birthday is 5 days after mine, so I went from celebrating my birthday then her birthday, to having to celebrate all three on the same day. Just once I would like to have my birthday be about me instead of about me and 2 other people. For those who will say my birthday doesn't count as a holiday, I was born on September 4th. So more often than not, my birthday is on Labor Day. Christmas. Reading the comments I realize that hating Christmas is rather popular, and I get it. My friends and my So's family think I'm an absolute Grinch for disliking this holiday. The music, decorations, and people's attitudes around this time of year really get on my nerves. And Christmas is only one day, so why does it have to last a month or 2? People's forced fake overjoyed personalities. Pretending to get along with family members that you only see at Christmas, when you know full well they'll be criticizing you as soon as you set foot out the door. Feeling an obligation to buy meaningless presents. Luckily my parents and sibling agree with me, so we just all stopped celebrating traditionally. And my So enjoys Christmas, but also understands why I don't, so he doesn't push it onto me. I hate Thanksgiving with a passion. All of my worst memories are on Thanksgiving. Every year my parents had a violent blowout. One year my mom cut her hand open and my dad screamed at her while her hand was gushing blood. Another year my dad overturned a toolbox on my brother's head. It is really one horribly violent memory after another. My brother and I dubbed the holiday Mad Dad Day. Now as an adult I don't care about Thanksgiving and prefer not to go to any owns Thanksgiving. I just don't celebrate it at all. Plus I hate the colorless food. Christmas. Because of the money requirements, it's not the price of the gift, it's the thought that counts as total bullshit, because if I cheap out on my nieces, nephews, siblings, in-laws, and spouse, I'm the asshole. Hating Christmas for 2 reasons. I work in retail, and it brings out the ugliest behavior in people. It was my grandmother's birthday, and now that she's deceased, it's very bittersweet and sad for everyone in my family. I've always hated New Year's, and particularly New Year's Eve. I'm not a big partier, I'm not a big drinker, I don't like crowds, I don't like New Year's resolutions, and I don't like getting used to writing/typing a new calendar year. A lot of them have really been commercially bastardized at this point, the biggest offender obviously being Christmas. When I was a kid, Christmas advertisements started at the earliest the day after Thanksgiving. This year I saw my first Christmas ad on November 1st. Like, come on man, there's an entire holiday we haven't celebrated yet. Can't we focus on the next holiday before we focus on the holiday after that? But then you know there's always people who cry out, Christmas is under attack the second you say anything negative about it. I mean, all of this commercialization can't be in the real spirit of Christmas. Diwali. Growing up in Mumbai in close quarters with bombs going off every second non-stop for hours on Diwali morning gave me extreme PTSD as a child. Some of the bombs were extremely loud, and you could feel the shockwave like grenades going off nearby. Not to mention the pollution and the hundreds of stray dogs just running all over the city shit scared, and getting run over by vehicles, trains etc. 4th of July. It's loud, you have to stay up late, it's always hot, and I somehow always get hurt. No thanks. I'm going to bed. Also, New Year's Eve. It's loud, you have to stay up late, it's always cold, and somehow I always get hurt. No thanks. I'm going to bed.